the cloud. Now I'll go back to modifier talks here. So Java access modifiers, no access modifiers. So in the example here, if you see public class name, and private boolean my flag static final, we have seen static, what is static is. Now we need to see what is protected, right? So they say access control modifiers. Java provides number of access modifiers to set access levels. Access levels, that means you go to some office, right? You go to some office, if there are like 10 floors, if there are 10 floors, they let you access only first 2 floors, not the all the 8 floors. If you are an employee working in 7th floor, you cannot go to 9th floor. So this is access specification. That means you can access, you have the access up to one point, not after that. So that's called access specifications. So here access levels that they set. So you declare a variable. Now yesterday we have seen you declare a variable within the method, you cannot access that variable outside that method. Right? So now you declare a method, you cannot access the variable declared in the method in any other method. But you declare a variable in the class, you can access that variable using the instance of a class. You declare a variable as static, you can access that variable using a class name dot variable. But here, when you declare, so you can actually, we have, when you create a class, what are the different things that you see? One is class, and the other one is package, the other one is method. So if I declare a variable here, right, int roll number, this is a variable, right? How can I access of this variable inside the method? I need to create test modifiers and test dot roll number. Right? You can access this way. But what it is saying? Variable declarators to complete local variable declaration. So you're calling you can access this way. So this is called, if somebody asks you what is an object creation, how can you do it in Java? You use the class name, variable, new class name. Now you print it, the default value of roll number is 0. So now there are different types. We have, so this particular variable is accessible within this class. If I create a class in the same package, I'm just naming so that you understand what it is. Access other class variables, right? So now I have a main method here. If I want to access test modifiers, how can I access test modifiers test equal to you can access this particular property in another class of the same package. So this is called package, and you define 2 classes here. You have written 2 classes, and you declared one property in one class, and now you're trying to access the property of that class in another class. How we are doing that is by creating test modifiers test equal to new test modifiers in system.out.println test roll number. So this is how you can access. Okay, now I want to tell you something. Right now this has no access modifier. This has no modifier. That means this is with a default access modifier, you are able to access this roll number in a different class. So what I'll do now, I declare private int roll number. I'll go to access class. So now I got a compilation error. It is saying you cannot access roll number. So I have roll number property or variable inside my class, and I'm trying to, earlier it was the default access modifier, and I was able to access it in a different class of the same package, right? But now I declared this particular roll number as private, and now I'm trying to access from the other class. It is giving me a compilation error. Why? Because private access modifier let you use the variables that you declared in the class from the same class itself. That means you have to use the variables within the same class if it is a private. And default access modifier, if I don't declare anything, it will be default, and you can access that particular variable within the same package of any class. So you can group multiple classes under one package, and you can use the variables of one class in other class if you don't declare, if you don't use any access modifier. So, and then we have a public. Public is even better than default access modifier. That means you're not seeing any error. And there is another called protected. Still no issues. Only private thing. First thing that you need to learn is private variable. So why we need private variables? That means when you create an instance, that means as an object, the information is with you. Nobody can access except you provide access to these properties. We'll learn the concepts, inheritance, polymorphism, all these things in next class. That time you'll understand what is the use of private variable. So right now you only know just access modifier private. You don't know protected or public or default. That means you know how to declare a package. Now you know how to create classes, and now you know how to create variables. Once you create variables, you're trying to access those variables from other class. Now we try to access a private variable. It is giving a compilation error. That is very important, right? You cannot access private variables other than the same class. Now I'm going back to the tutorials, right? So non-access modifiers. So what are the non-access modifiers? So private, protected, public, default are the access specifiers. Means it can help you to decide which method can access this property, which class can access this property, something like that. Whereas non-access modifiers are some of the keywords we call in Java, right? These are all keywords of Java, so you cannot use them for user-defined variables purpose. And non-access modifiers like static, final, abstract, and synchronized can be used along with the variables, and it has a specific meaning to it. If you declare a variable as a static, that particular method or variable can be called using the class name. We have already seen that in last but one class, like that means 2 days ago we talked about it. So how to declare a static variable and use it. And final variable, if you declare a variable as a final, that means it will be treated as a constant. Means if you use the final variable for a class, it cannot be inherited. But right now you don't know what is inheritance. So don't worry about it. But as a meaning, just read like a theory to remember, like a principle, like how you learn a plus b whole square equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. Right? Initially, you may not understand what it is. But when you're solving the problem of a plus b whole power 10, you understand the a plus b whole square importance. Similar to that, when you're learning the Hindi or Telugu or whatever language, you learn the grammar, right? Or else if you're learning English, you say subject, verb, object. The similar way, you learn these principles and remember it, and you apply these principles when you're actually implementing it, when you're actually using it. So static keyword is for creating A variable or the method or the class, and then you can use those variables using the class name. And final modifier for finalizing the implementation of classes, methods and variables. The abstract modifier for creating abstract classes and methods. You don't need to know what is the meaning of abstract right now. Just learn and understand or remember that there are keywords like static, final, abstract, synchronized in Java, along with the access modifiers. We see them when we go to the real implementation, right? So I'll click on next page and see where it will take us. It should take us to access modifiers, but right now access modifiers are too complicated. If you click on here, human, we have, there are things like this: public, private, protected, things like that. But I want to cover these things when I go to inheritance. When I go to inheritance, I'll cover the access modifiers, then it will make sense to you. But right now, what you need to know is that there are keywords like private, protected, public. Okay, even if you don't understand what it is, one second, guys. Okay, so modifier types. We can talk about it when we go to the Java object-oriented principles here. Okay, and then basic operators. Basic operators. What are the operators that we have in Java? So arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators means like you do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, percentage, increment, decrement. Okay. So addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, plus, decrement. The relational operators. These are the following operators that we use in Java. So relational means like Boolean conditions, like if you say equals to, not equals to, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than or equal to, something like that. And then bitwise operators. Bitwise operators means like you deal with the bit operators. So this has a specific meaning: 1, 0, 1 and 0, right? These are like mathematical operations that we do, bit by bit operations. So you represent either a decimal number into a binary number, and then you get bit binary numbers. Then when you are dealing with binary numbers, then you do bitwise operators. So bitwise AND, A and B will give 12, either, which is 0 and 0. So we have value here 0 and 1. What will be the output for A and B? Any idea? You guys remember what is a bitwise operator? And our this one is exclusive OR and then not, right? So if you see, even this is not very important, but still it's better to learn what it is. So if I go to, right, it's always easy to perform, right? Int a equal to 1, int b equal to 2, right? If we convert, if we do system dot println a and b is 0. Basically what happens is the table is like this: a 1 and 0 is 0. 1 and 1 is 1. 0 and 1 is 0. 1 after that, what? 0 and 0. You guys remember what is 0 and 0? bitwise and table. True and true, true. True and false, false. False and true, false. False and false, false. That means 0 and 0 is 0, right? For and. Similarly, it is A or B. Similarly, it is A or B. Similarly, it's A or B. It will be 1 or 0. So it will be 1. Either true or false will be true. True and true or true will be true or true will be true. Something like this. You guys need to practice this one so that you know how it works. So in our case, if any of this is false, in AND case it will false. But in R, if any of this is true, then it will become true. You can always see bitwise operators. So bitwise, conditional operator, bitwise operators here. So we have seen bitwise operators and bitwise and truth table. Using bitwise, something like this. And then R we have seen, and then bitwise. So if you represent 11, this will be represented like this, like 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1. So how do you do that? Yesterday I talked about it. So when you go to a table, right, if I give an 11, if you want to convert that into 11 mod 2 will be 1. And then the remainder will be 6, right? So again, 6 mod 2 will be 0. Right now it will be 3. 3 mod 2 is 1, right? So now 1 mod 2 is 1 mod 2 is what? 1. If you see the table here, it's a 1 0 1 1. So now we take from the top, if you 1 0 1 1. So if you want to convert this back into number 11, right? So what we do, how many are there? 1 multiplied by 2 power 2 power 3 plus 1 0 multiplied by 2 power 3. Okay, let me see. 0 multiplied by 2 power 2 plus 1 multiplied by 2 power 2 power 2 2 power 1 plus 1 multiplied by 2 power 0. What is the total here? First one is 8 plus 4. No. 2 is going more than 11, right? Sorry. That means I'm doing something wrong. Binary converted to decimal. So if I give a binary number 1011, convert 11. So
actually it is 0 multiplied by 4, so it is 0.
This is the formula, decimal calculation. I did something wrong here. So
there's 0 multiplied by 4, it is
2 cube, 2 power cube is correct. Oh, sorry,
no,
this is 1. This will be
no
0.
0 multiplied by 4, that is 8 plus 0 multiplied by 4, so that will be 0.
Oh, that's why, sorry. That means I did correct. Thank you. 80. So this is how you convert, right? So you can do bit operations on this particular thing, right? 1011 if you're adding this one. So according to, now I'll take 8. If I take 8, that means 8 mod 2 equal to 0. So now I have 4 mod 2 equal to 0. Now I have 2 mod 2 will be 0. 2, now we have what? 2, 1, 1. 1 mod 2 equal to 1. If I convert this one, it will become 0. 8 mod 2 is 0. 0, 0, 0, 1. 0, 0, 1. I'm trying to maybe I need to take backwards. 11 mod 2 is 1, 6 mod 2 is 0. So in case of 8 mod 2, it's 4, 4 mod 2 is 0, 2 mod 2 is 2, 2 is 4, and then 2 ones. How much it will become? 0 multiplied by 2 power 3 plus 0 multiplied by 2 power 2 plus 0 multiplied by 2 power 1 plus 2 power 0. Is this correct? Something wrong, right? That means it becomes 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 equal to what? 1. What I'm trying to do is 8. Let me convert. This is the correct one. That means I need to go backwards. I think I took wrong way. So I need to go this way, 1, 0, 0. Okay? Now it becomes 2 power 3. It will become 8. So you guys need to get some familiarity with bitwise operators. If you are taking Java certification exam, they will expect you to know some bitwise operation for sure. So if you guys are not familiar, just get some hands-on with bitwise operators. So what is two's complement, what is one's complement, and things like that. I can share some YouTube video. There are so many YouTube videos. Even if you Google it, you can find it. But this left shift. What is left shift? What is right shift? And then what is the zero full right shift? These things are very important if you're taking a Java certification exam. They will expect at least one question. You can expect at least one question from this area. So focus on this if you are interested in taking some kind of certification, or if you go to some exams, right? If you go to a company as a fresher, they test your ability to understand the basics, right? Whether you have all the knowledge or not, something like that. So these are called bitwise operators. I'm emphasizing, but I may not be able to cover entire things because these are not very important, but these are important for the people who wants certification. right? Certification for them, it's important. You can always YouTube and find so many videos out there. And if you have any questions, you can come back to me. Okay, bitwise operators. But I gave one example on bitwise, right? But even I need to prepare. It's been a long time. I can actually look into that, and then maybe we can discuss and talk about it whenever you have some doubts about it. And the logical operators. What are the logical operators, right? Maybe they have some examples here too. They have some examples too. You can check. So if C and B, it is 60, and A and B is like, what is the value here? C. C will be 12. 60 and 13. It's becoming 12. 61 and 49. So internally, it will convert the value into binary, and then it will perform the operation on these particular variables. That's what happens. So if we compile, if we copy this code and execute, we can see the results. So A is what, 60. When you do shift right, when you do left shift, what happens is it is moving, it is converting all the zeros, right? And then you start changing 0 to 1. Maybe you guys can read about it tomorrow. Maybe we can discuss if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll skip this topic. But we can also discuss one day. These are very important for the people who are interested in taking the certification. Okay. I'll go back. Bitwise operators, I'll skip, even because I need to brush myself. It's been a while. So bitwise operators are very important once again. So logical operators. So what are the logical operators? This is equivalent to AND condition. That means as if it is a single ampersand, that means it represents a bitwise operation. But it is two double, it means if two conditions are there, right? If you see two conditions, so A is true, B is true. A and B are true, right? And if A is true and B is false, A and B are false. So the same as the bitwise operator when it comes to AND here, similar to A or B, true or false becomes true. See the output here. If you want to execute this one, you can always execute. That I can copy the code and execute. So let's say this, and then false and true and true. Okay. So true and false, true, true or false, false. I mean, true or false, true, true and true is true, true and false is false. That's how it is. If I set this to true, everything is true. True, true. If anything goes false, and becomes false, or becomes true. Okay. And then there is a variable called not. This means if you have a true value, not of true will become false. If I go back here, so system.out.println, system.out.println, not of A. I'm printing, right? Not of A. A is false, right? It will become true. It has become true here. That is not, means like it will negate, it's a negation. I mean, if you're a mathematical student, you might be knowing all this, how to negate and everything. It's a programming, nothing but some kind of mathematics. So if you are a mathematical student, it's easy for you to catch up the information in programming. So most of them are calculations, and only thing you need to know is that in mathematics also you declare variables, right? You declare in a theorem, you assign a value to that particular variable, and then you perform operation, and then That's how you calculate. Similar thing in programming too. You declare a variable and then assign a value, perform the operation. That's how it will work. And then conditional operator. So now we have seen this is assignment operator equals to, right? Equals to means like if 1 plus 2 equal to 3. So you declare int C and then you assign A plus B to C. You can see the variables here. So I have A 10, B 20, C 0. Now I'm assigning A plus B to C and printing C. And then C plus equal to A. That means it's the same meaning as C equal to C plus A. They explained here. C plus A equal to C. I'll take one at a time and execute this one. You can see. Actually, you guys can execute all of this. Basically, I don't have to execute. Once you know how to execute to create a project in Eclipse, and then, you can always execute it. So, what is the value of C? This meaning, the meaning of this is C equal to C plus A. Here, A plus B became 20. Now, 20 plus 20 is 40. Because first step, when you take A and B, A is 20, A is 10, B is 20, C equal to 0. Now, what is the value in C? C equal to A plus B, so 10 plus 20 is 30, C is assigned with 30. Now, what we are saying is 30 plus 10. This is the meaning, 30 plus A. See, this particular operation means C plus A. C minus A, that means the meaning of this one is C equal to C minus A. Right? Similar, C equal to C by A. This is modulus function. So percentage means modular. You know what is mod, right? So when you divide, you get a result, right? That's mod. The quotient will be on the right side, and the modulus, the remainder is the module. You're going to find with the remainder. If you want to find the remainder, use the mod operator. This is called mod operator to find the remainder in a division. So the above one is division. This is division. This is to find the remainder of a given number. So this is left shift. They call left shift means what is left shift? Bitwise operator. Bit operator in Java. So perform bitwise shift operations on integer types. The bit patterns are given by left-handed operator. Let us see what it is. Performs bit operation to the left. The signed right operation shifts the bit pattern to the right. So it has left shift and right shift operations. Bitwise complement operators inverts the bit pattern. It can be applied on integer types, makes every 0 to 1, every 1 to 0. Byte contains 8 bits. So whose bit operations would change to 111. So if you use left shift or right shift, so if you are making a bit operation, if you say left, one last one becomes 0. So ultimately, the meaning will change. Something like that. Let us find a good example. Left shift operation example, Java. Right, left shift operation example in Java. One is signed right shift in Java. Signed right shift of all integers are signed in Java. It is fine to use the negative numbers. Operator uses sign bit, leftmost bit to fill trailing positions after shift. If the number is negative, then 1 is used as a filler. If the number is positive, then 0. So it will convert the number into binary, and then it will try to change each value from the right or left. So if you see the value x equal to -4, let us perform this one. Let's perform this operation. See, the bit operations are not very important for business applications. In real world, nobody's going to ask, but it's better to learn, right? Even though I'm not covering completely, it's better you do some research since you have time. So it's -4, and this is -4, +4. So when I say -4, representation will be what? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, right? If it is 8-bit representation, this will look like this, and then it will convert right shift. So this will become what? For positive, for minus, it will be 1. You need to fill, so extra 1. So when it starts with 1, it becomes 0, 1, 1, minus will be as it is, and then it will turn into 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So 2 times shifting, right? Shift right. So now 1 is still there for -1. It will become 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. I'm not sure, maybe I need to check this one time. I'll check and come back tomorrow's class for the bitwise operators. So bitwise operators need some kind of preparation. Let us check that one later. Don't worry about it. And then we've seen the basic operators, arithmetic operators. Only bitwise operators are the pending ones. We can check assignment operators we have seen, and the miscellaneous operators. So bitwise is a bit tough to understand, but if you understand that, it will be very useful for your career as well. And only for taking the certification, I learned it, but after that, I never used it in real world. That's fine. Condition operator. So if there is a true condition, this is true, then this is the value. If this is false, I mean, always, if this condition is met, then it will return this value, or else this one. If you want to see this one, so I'll take these two variables. I go here. So what I'm going to do is that, so I have int a and b. I assign 10 a equal to 10. If a equal to 1, I'm returning 20, else b equal to 30. This value will be assigned to b. So if I run this one, so value of b is 30. So we have not assigned any value. If I print system.out.println b, right, the default value is not have been initialized, but the default value normally will be 0. Okay, it is not printing, because we have not initialized. I'll initialize b to 0. Okay, I'll initialize b to 0. Now we don't get the compilation error. So now we're getting initial value of b is 0, but based on this condition, this is false because a has value of 10, right? A has value of 10. 10 is not equal to 1. That's why it is written in 30. If I say 40, it will become 40. Became 40. So this is true, written this one. This is false, so written this one. So this one, right? So that is called conditional operator. After that, instance operator. Instance means like if I declare a class, right? I have a class test, and if I create an instance of this test, I can find out whether this is a type of class test. This is the best example is here because you guys don't know what is string right now. We'll only deal with example, right? So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check if I copy this only. What is the class name here? I'm going to create an instance. Instance is nothing but an object, right? Instance is nothing but an object of the class. So I created an object. Now I want to find out if this particular test is an instance of this class, right? If this instance is part of this class. Now I'm going to run. Once I run this one, I want to print this one too. True, right? So those are the different types of operators we have and precedence of operators. So when you do certain operations, operations, which one takes priority? Normally, if we have, in case of 2 multiplied by 3 plus 4, right? 2 multiplied by, in case if I take some operations here, in case if I take 2 multiplied by 10 plus 5, what is the value can you expect? Can somebody tell me what is the value of this? What is the value of 2 multiplied by 10 plus 5? Hello? Rizwan?
Yes, sir.
What will be the value for this 2 multiplied by 10 plus 5?
It's going to be 25.
Good. So that means the precedence is playing important role here, right? Precedence is playing important role. So 2 first is taking star and then plus, correct?
Yes, sir.
So similarly, the concept is declared here. So if I put a bracket here, what is the value?
Bracket. So it's going to be like it's going to be in decimal, sir.
No,
7.5.
2 multiplied by,
Okay.
within brackets, 10 plus 5.
Okay. If you do it in Java, it's going to be 0, sir, because you have to put 2.0 instead of 2.
No. What about, what will be the value?
Okay. 30.
Yes. Correct. So that is what they're talking about. So that means this particular bracket takes the preference left to right. So this is greater than symbol, If it is there, it will take highest priority.
Right.
Brackets, whatever is there in the brackets will execute first, and then whatever is there in this brackets will execute next, and after that dot operator. After that unary operations. If you have plus, I told you that C plus equals to something like that. Plus plus. Unary operations means like if I do system dot out dot println 2 plus plus. Okay, we'll see what happens. Int z equal to 2. Is equal to 2 and x equal to 10. Let's print this, what happens, we'll see. So I gave x as 2, z as 2, correct? But when I print z plus plus, it became 2 only. But when I give x, when I print plus plus x, it became 11. So basically, plus plus means, right, x equal to x, and the next step is x equal to x plus 1. It will happen in 2 steps. Whereas here, plus plus x means x equal to x plus 1. This is the meaning of these two operators. So you can use the same thing for minus minus also. Right? So by the time, this is happening in 2 steps, but the first time when I printed, the value of z is 2, but internally it incremented the value to 2, but it's not available at the first step. But when I printed here, it printed 3, but it didn't decrease. As I mentioned, again, if I say z minus minus, z equal to z, z equal to z minus 1. Whereas here, prefix, if you prefix this minus minus or plus plus plus, this will become like this. So that's the reason when I increase this one, it printed 11, but when I decreased immediately, it became 10. But whereas here, it is opposite. Okay. So, and then that's it, I think. You guys, I think it's a lot of information today in one class. So let us, you guys complete the reading part of basic operators and loop controls and decision making. How much you can read and come back and tell me how much you know. If you don't know something, then we can talk about it. These are very generic, but I'm going to still talk about it. But if you learn in advance, and let me know so that I don't have to, repeat. These are very simple. Once you start executing it, right, go through all the examples and execute, create a package like this, and then create a class and execute each of the example that was given there. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Thank you.